I'm the one and only Coin Baron, and we are back to a weekly close live stream. And it has been about 2 weeks since we last talked in a live stream, so welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the temporary videos. We talked about the level up program. We talked about the Midnight Blue card. Is it worth it? And spoiler alert, not really. We can talk about that, of course, but I want to talk more about, for example, the chart. And I want to quickly be real with you guys as well. So first, I would say that strap in, of course. But I was off for about 2 weeks. And I was with the Coin Baroness, of course. So we have those talks. So where's life heading? You know, where do you see yourself in about a few years, you know? But also, how are the cryptos doing? Because, to be honest, my Coin Baroness is also watching the news. And the thing is, Bitcoin is getting headlines. Gold is getting headlines. S&P 500 getting headlines, guys. All these tokens, all these things, stocks, gold, Bitcoin, all-time highs. We are talking about all-time highs across the board. And Cronos is still sitting at about, what is it? 0.8 cents? Oh, 8 cents now? Yeah. 8.1 at the moment. So 8.1 cents. So, of course, you get the conversation. Is your investment still in the right spot? Are you doing the right thing? And in about those 2 weeks I was gone, I was actually to Spain. So, guys, I can highly recommend going to Malaga, south of Spain. But in those 2 weeks, you do some realization, you do some, reality checks there. And is the fundamental thing still the same? Are you still bullish on the thing you bought back in 2019? Because that's when I bought into the CRO token. That's also when I kind of transitioned away from Ethereum heavy. I was very back into Ethereum to more heavier risk or higher risk altcoins like CRO. So, of course, at this moment, Bitcoin, guys, is king. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart in a few minutes. But Bitcoin is king so far. And every time people are saying, I'm going to make the switch to Bitcoin, I think they might regret it, even though, of course, Bitcoin is the more safe bet. But to anyone saying in here that Bitcoin is never going to have a crash again, Bitcoin never will see maybe the lows of 60,000 because we got ETFs, because we got BlackRock, because, guys, Bitcoin will most likely get a big rejection in the future as well. But first, we are up for a great bull run. So hello. Anyways, I see random token. Pixidia, welcome. Sanja, I see When Pump and Björn as well. Guys, I hope the temperatures are fine where you are. I hope you're enjoying summer. That's also a thing, of course, because it's now Q3. I want to talk about the roadmap for both Crypto.com. I want to talk about the roadmap of Cronos chain as well. But let's do some charts now, shall we? Let's do some charts, because I want to start off with this one first, because you guys know me maybe for my rainbow chart. The rainbow chart is probably the chart I got the most questions about during my absence, because where are we? Where is Cronos on the Cronos on the rainbow chart? It's below the rainbow chart. It so far has had 2 weekly closes. 2 weekly closes below the rainbow chart. And honestly, guys, I thought this was impossible. Because so far, this growth line we have set, held for about 2 years already. For 2 years, there has been no support line. However, things are shifting a bit. So some people are asking me, well, are we going to redraw the rainbow chart? And potentially we have to. But I still think this little Iran attack, this first for anyone that missed it, let's go back about 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks ago, we had the US joining the war in Iran. So far, I think we got peace now between Iran and Israel. So things seem to be good. So that's also why Bitcoin, let's go to a different Bitcoin one. This is not the right one. Bitcoin. There we go. So Bitcoin is basically back where we were. It really recovered from the Iran dump. So you can see what happened. It went down from about 110 all the way down to 97k. I hope you guys all bought in. Said to your friends, this is the final time you probably can buy Bitcoin below $100,000, because I do believe that we're ready for a bull run. Because you can see we have been testing this 110 level for way too many times already. So it's time for that big boost, this big lift-off moment. But Cronos is not having it yet. Cronos not having it. So my take here for the rainbow chart, is the following. I do believe this was a black swan event. And as always, altcoins, they require some more time than Bitcoin. So I think if within the next 2 weekly closes, so not today, guys. Today, Sunday, of course, we're going to close below. So this will be the third close below the rainbow chart line. If, however, next week we are here again, if we are here again next week and we are still trading below the rainbow chart, I'm going to redraw it. And that's going to be bearish. Well, bearish. It's going to lower my expectations. But what you can see is there is quite a decent case to be made that this is the new line. This is the line. It's a bit, a bit more like this here. So I have to set everything a bit lower in that case. So that means that everything is going down a little bit. So that maybe means that instead of going to here, 320, that might say, well, the max is at about 250. That's a possibility if we have to redraw the rainbow chart. But like I mentioned before, we're not there yet. Guys. I still think, like what we've seen with Bitcoin, let's go back to Bitcoin, the black swan event for, not for Cronos, but for COVID, CRO, well, different things, of course. You can see that the black swan for COVID, this one here, it's so small. It took about 2-3 weeks to recover. Let me set it correct here. Actually, it was 60 days. 60 days. Let's say, yeah, this is the 149 bars. Interesting. I thought it was about 3-4 weeks, but apparently, guys, it can be even a month to have a full recovery here for a black swan event like with COVID. Anyway, so let's say 40 days. I think actually next week, if it's still below it, we're going to redraw anyways. But like from the lows, let's go to the daily chart quickly. Yeah, now we're talking about August. That's too late for me. Let's hope, guys, next week we have a bit of a boom, so I don't have to redraw this line here. But anyways, that's my thinking so far. Am I bearish? Not at all. And going back to the question that we had before the stream, has anything changed? Well, yes, a few things have changed, I would say. Fundamentally, guys, tokenomics have become a bit worse. 70 billion additional tokens. You know, I can't make it better than this. Like, tokenomics wise, we are worse off. But tech wise, I'm going to talk about that in the next week video as well. So guys, make sure you're strapped in. I'm going to go to the chat actually. Tech wise, the Cronos chain is better than ever. Sub-second and sub-1 cent gas fees. Absolutely fabulous, guys. I can't make it any better than this. It's great. So, like, fundamentally, we are improving the utility for the CRO token. We're also improving, I would say, from a crypto.com point of view. I still think that everyone is saying no. If crypto.com is having success while the CRO token is not having success, it's all about, guys, momentum. So why? Let me go to a different chart, and I don't know what to explain it to you, why I think it makes sense for crypto.com to not really push the CRO token yet. Let me go to the Bitcoin chart here. Bitcoin dominance. There is a case to be made that we have peaked for Bitcoin dominance during my holiday leave. I don't know though. But what I would like to show you though is that on the daily here, we're back again at this trend line here. You can see it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts of breaking above this line. But now we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 attempts of breaking down below this trend line. So there could be a potential top for Bitcoin dominance. However, we don't know yet. We don't know yet if that has been the top, or maybe again, we go test the green line and we break to even higher levels for Bitcoin dominance. And Crypto.com is also seeing this. And every time it's going higher, altcoins are bleeding or not doing anything. And it doesn't get the nice momentum it needs. Like, for example, Ethereum has been going up so far, mainly. But also against this Bitcoin pair, the last few weeks haven't been the best. So if Crypto.com wants to push the CRO token, you don't do that. You don't do that during a Bitcoin season, guys. When do you do that? You do it during an altcoin season. When this line is going down, altcoins will already get some more momentum by itself, right? I mean, you will see, for example, maybe XRP doing like, I don't know, go up 20%, Solana go up 30%. When there is already some momentum, Crypto.com can give it another push, give it some more visibility. Because why would they give it a push? Well, the cards, of course. Where are my cards? I can't see my cards. Many customers of Crypto.com had to stake the CRO token to get the credit cards, Visa cards, or whatever they got. And of course, if the price of CRO token is going down, you get a lot of angry customers. And they are seeing now that not only new customers matter, but also the old customers matter more and more. Because simply said, the market for crypto is also still growing. Of course, you see moms and dads still more adopting the Bitcoin standard, or in theory just learning more about financial freedom. But still what you can see is that it's not growing as quick as it has done in 2021, for example, or in 2017, or the beginning of 2018. Now institutions are taking over the role, really, that retail had in the past. So they need the old customers to come back, keep using that platform. And the best way to do so is by making them happy CRO investors. At least that's my take here. I think that's what many people still believe. And that's also what many people still keep holding on to their CRO tokens. And I think it's a decent rhetoric as well. Anyways, Pete, welcome. I see Pete. I see Mish. Strap in, my dude. I see XGen. And I see Pixieta asking about Orbi Network. Well, maybe soon we'll get some more content on the channel about Orbi, guys. So stay tuned for that one. Orbi is making the USC token, a stable coin. And we are also still waiting. Let's make the transition into right now to the roadmap, the Crypto.com roadmap. It's a topic for today. Here we go. The Orbi USC stablecoin. If I'm right, it's not a stablecoin like USDC or USDT. It's, I think, an algorithmic stablecoin. So I stay away from those a bit more myself. But let's go to the roadmap. Now. What you can see, we are now in Q3. This is the Cortex AI era. And I haven't heard anything from the Crypto.com team that they want to switch around anything here regarding the big roadmap. So Cortex AI is coming. And no one is talking about this yet. So we still have a big surprise in Chris' sleeve. So guys, get ready for whatever this might be. What you can see though is a few things already in the Cortex AI world. For example, AI-powered trade tooling. Well, we gotta wait and see what that exactly is. But the Crypto.com stablecoin is coming. And this is a big deal. A big deal, I would say, for the Cronos chain, guys. Because this is the token going to be issued by 1S, 1C, 1 cent, 1 second, and this will be trading on the Cronos chain. The Cronos chain will be the native place where the CRO stablecoin is going to be traded, or the crypto.com stablecoin. So this will make a lot more utility really for the CRO token and also the Cronos chain. So you can see, I think, that transactions on the Cronos chain are going to skyrocket. I hope, at least, if there's enough adoption of this stablecoin. Because I think what Peter's saying, the UST by Terra, that was also algorithmic stablecoin. So what I have seen about this stablecoin though, the crypto.com stablecoin, this is one-to-one backed with dollars. One-to-one backed. So crypto.com has a safe with dollars, or a safe of not per se dollars. They can also do the bonds. They can get US bonds. So they back it a bit by dollars and a bit by bonds, and then they can get a bit of return on investment. So if you guys still remember the interest rates are still at about 4% for US dollars. So they get 4% by the US government, basically. And people get a free stable coin, or not a free stable coin. They get a very cheap stable coin to trade with on the Cronos chain. So I do believe, guys, big thing, both for crypto.com as well as for the Cronos chain. One thing, the stablecoin act has been passed, and since we had the stablecoin act being passed, I see stablecoins being issued left and right. We got, I think, the Robinhood stablecoin, we got the BlackRock stablecoin, Kraken stablecoin, Gemini, so many freaking stablecoins. So in my opinion, they need to be fast, they need to be quick. The good thing though about this crypto.com stablecoin, this has been approved already in the EU with the MiCA bill. So EU ready, I hope also soon US ready, and I think it should be launched very soon, Q3. Well, I think a good thing here by Advait saying, well, if you keep it only on Cronos, it will be a big mistake. I think it will not only be Cronos, but it will be the native home. Like, for example, we have wrapped Bitcoin on Cronos, we have wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. Basically everywhere we have wrapped Bitcoin. But the true Bitcoin chain is the true blockchain for Bitcoin is the Bitcoin core chain, of course. Yeah, but you're right, Advait, you're right. It should be multi-chain. It should be multi-chain. I do want to say one thing though about that, is that guys, you guys in here are absolutely amazing. You are degens, you are well-known traversers of the cryptoverse. However, the majority still coming in. We are the early majority. The big majority coming in, I think, still in Q3, Q4. So the upcoming, well, 6 months. They don't know much about going on-chain. They don't know much about using Ethereum, Solana. They go to an exchange, they press buy, and they want dollars or whatever. And the thing about crypto.com, they don't even show what kind of stable coin they use. They just say, well, we have USD for you, or Euro. But I think that's going to be, or at least technically, is going to be their stable coin. But that's going to wait and see. I think that's a bit of speculation there, but maybe. Demo coin. Welcome, dude. Trapping in here. Still here, 6 months. Thank you very much, Demo, for all the support. Thank you very much. Let's quickly read it. Welcome back, Coin Baron. I hope Demo, you're also going to have a great holiday if you're going away. How much Lion do you think people will get for their Fractured Fate Lent NFT in the upcoming airdrop? My guess is 1,000 Lion per NFT. I hope, Demo, I don't know how, but I hope they will do it based on rarity, because I do have a legendary and a mythical, so I think it's going to be partially based on rarity. So I don't know, maybe 10 for the common ones and 10,000 for the mythical ones. I don't know. I think it will be decent. There is going to be more supply though, then available supply of the Lion token, Demo. So be a bit wary. Be a bit wary. It might bring down the price a bit of the Lion token, even though I still believe long term. I can say those guys. I'm a Lion millionaire. I am a Lion millionaire. So I do have quite a big stake in there. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for this meme coin. I do believe the meme season is going to return, and Lion, being the big staple of crypto.com, can have a big spot in there. Like for example, Pengu. And by the way, talk about Pengu. If you guys use the airdrop arena, you might have some free Pengu tokens in your crypto.com app wallet now. Anyways, smash the like. Mitch is saying, guys, smash that like. Strap in. Welcome to anyone just coming in. We talked about already a bit of Bitcoin dominance. It is trading exactly where I like to see it. At this line here, at this line. So I do hope next week we're going to see a break. But so far, we're going to close the week, it seems, still above this growing trend line. We set in, during my leave, we set a higher high for Bitcoin dominance. Exactly 66%. Exactly 66%. So quite crazy. XGen, I still don't get how we got credit cards and now a massive blockchain upgrade, and we haven't seen any substantial pump. I can exactly tell you why, XGen. Let me start with the upgrade, because one part of the upgrade was actually a reduction of gas fees. 10x reduction of gas fees. What does it mean though in the short term is that people will need 10x less CRO for their gas fees. So in the relative short term, less demand for the CRO token, right? However, longer term thinking, like longer term, less gas fees, more attractive for builders to build on this chain. The more people build on the chain, potentially the more users come to the chain as well to use their applications. The more use of the chain, the more use of these dApps, the more use of the CRO token. So short term, maybe a bit of pain, at least like logically thinking. But long term, I do see some gains coming there if we get enough traction though. Regarding credit cards, I think we talked a bit about this earlier. So like retail, it's not waking up yet. It's not waking up yet. Also, credit cards are only available in the US. So I don't know. We talked about the review of the Midnight Blue card, guys. The Midnight Blue, in my opinion, is not really worth it yet. But staking $500 for the Ruby card, and I will make a complete review of it, is absolutely worth it. Basically, for any American out there, if they have any spare money, I would recommend getting the Ruby card. But I'm gonna do a dedicated review for that one. It's a good point though, actually. And I think the credit cards, I think the demand for CRO is going to come a bit later, during a more altcoin friendly season with more and more retail. Godfather was asking, should I buy now? Well, I'm buying. I'm buying, but of course, guys, no financial advice here. I want to show you a different chart though for Cronos here, and I kind of like it. So what we have seen is that basically since we had the Golden Age proposal, we bottomed out here. Since then, we have been growing, and now we seem to be down here. So you can see a bit of a growth line again, and we are now bouncing up basically on that line. So the question is, will we continue to bounce here? And I think the most likely answer is yes, especially because Bitcoin is also getting more momentum. You can see though that this purple line has been acting as resistance. So my base case for next week is that we're going to break out of this range, but also Bitcoin is going to make higher highs. I think Bitcoin will make a break to an all-time high very soon. Now, why do I say that? Well, take a look at this how do you say it? This structure. Does it remind you of anything? Does this structure remind you of anything? Well, to me it does. To me, it definitely does, because just take a look here. It's a miniature version really of what we have seen here between 2024 and 2025, where you can see one big wick with the final capitulation here. It's about 48k, 50k for Bitcoin, and after that we started a new growth line. So here we had the final capitulation here for Bitcoin, and we tested this line here once more, the 21-day. Had a beautiful bounce here on the 21-day, and now I think we are potentially ready for the next leg up. So you can also see that kind of here. The first time we had a bounce, only 21 week. Well, actually more this one. Yeah, you've got one bounce here, another bounce here. The 21-day then was the final springboard to get us to about 108k. Where is Bitcoin going though? So I've been listening to a few predictions by, for example, Standard Charter. They're saying 180k for Bitcoin. I think you've been listening to the channel here. So I think the majority of people are agreeing on about 150 to 180 for Bitcoin. But let me know, guys, what do you think? What's the potential top for Bitcoin? Is Standard Charter bearish with 180? Are they bullish with 180? I don't know. I don't know. John, I missed you too, dude. I missed you too. Fulcrum, by the way. Oh, this is, by the way, a good topic to talk about, Mr. Godfather. Not only Fulcrum, but also Moonlander are crazy opportunities still on the Cronos chain. Tosca, welcome. What do you see in 5 years from now in CRO coin or Bitcoin? Hard to say, Sanja. Hard to say. Hard to say. I think it depends on the time as well. So, like I mentioned before, guys, I sold my Bitcoin back maybe a bit too early. This is where I sold my Bitcoin back to buy CRO. So, yeah, I'm down now. If I hold on to my Bitcoin, I would have been better off. But, you know, I think it's all about timing. Timing the market is hard. So let's say I sold here. I expect to buy back some more Bitcoin here again. So if I'm selling my Bitcoin again or to buy CRO, I don't know. All depends on also where the 70 billion CRO is going. 70 billion CRO is still like sort of Damocles. You know, I don't know where it's going to end up in about 5 years. It will be fully minted out. Oh, there's also a topic we can talk about, by the way. Something moved. Something moved in the treasury. Well, yeah, I think the 70 billion question is going to be important, Senja, for the 5-year question. Strapping in for John here. Strapping in, guys. Welcome. Let's talk about that reserve in a minute. I see Tech Ken. Is that the Ken? Previous Cronos chain lead? Tech Ken, welcome. How are you? What's your price prediction for CRO? Well, Sean, we talked a bit about it in the beginning, but we have this tool available here. We call it the rainbow chart, based on the Bitcoin model for the rainbow chart. But it might have to change. Currently, we are below our rainbow chart pattern. However, I do believe it's only temporary. But next week, if it's still down below here, we have to potentially redraw or target. So currently the target is in between $1, about 101, and about 360. So within this red range here. However, if we have to redraw all lines, and as it stands, so the current cases here is that we have to redraw. However, if next week we have a bit of a recovery, we go to about 9 cents again, about 9 cents for CRO, I still think the rainbow chart as is still valid. Let's see. What do you think, though? What do you think, Mr. Sean? Where do you see CRO? I've had a lot of discussion with people on Reddit, like, 20 cents. 20 cents is going to be the all-time high for this, not the all-time high for this, it's going to be the high for this cycle. It's like 20 cents, that's 6 months ago. 20 cents, guys, that's 6 months ago. Just this is where we were, 20 cents, 22. And remember, if anyone was there, at what price did we start this pump? At what price? About 7 cents. 7 cents. We went about 3x. More than 3x. More than 3x in no time. So I do still believe that like a 10x is easily possible. So Godfather is selling a lot of 92 cents. 80%. I think, man, if you're happy at that point, that's a big 10x. I think that's beautiful. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Let's get some Crow fam in here. And also people that are not yet in the Crow fam, because it's the thing, right? In the end, it's also a bit to us. It's not only crypto.com that needs to pump the token. I'm also doing it for you for free. I'm pumping all your bags. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Strap in. Strap in. I think they're about right at 180k. Peter's saying my prediction for Bitcoin is about 180 to 250. So according to Pete, guys, Standard Charter is saying in the low range. Yeah, they might be right. 180 to 250. Sounds about right to me as well. Sean is saying $1 to $2 Crow. That's the crazy thing, right, guys? I think still many people in here do agree that this potential 10x or 20x even, absolutely life-changing money is still within the cards. So yeah, it's all about momentum, and I talked about this earlier, but it's not yet the momentum to start pumping altcoins. Do remember kind of what happened here? What happened here in May? When Ethereum started moving, it's more like that, or even better, November here. When Bitcoin dominance tumbled only 10%. Bitcoin dominance tumbled only 10%. Cronos went up 3x. And Cronos was one of the better performers back then. So let's see. Currently, guys, Cronos, if you go to CoinMarketCap, you can go to your phone, enter CoinMarketCap. Cronos sitting nicely at about 36, like rank 36. So Cronos currently is in the middle of the pack. In the middle of the pack of all altcoins. It's not a top gainer, but I want to show you a different token. Of course. Let me show it to you. I want to show you the Hype token. Have you guys heard about Hype? Hype. Hype is a token that is currently doing crazy. Let me show it to you here. Hype is hyper liquid. The Hype chain. Basically, it's a perpetuals platform, so leverage trading. And they do it crazy good. Currently, it's sitting at a nice 13 billion market cap. Not fully diluted, 30 billion. 13 billion. It is rank 11, so very close to the top 10, even though the jump from 11 to 10. So Cardano sitting at about 20 billion US dollars. Cronos currently nowhere close. Where are we? 2.5. So to get to Cardano's levels, we almost need to do a 10x. To get to Hype levels, we need to do about a 5x. And I don't know if you guys have been using the Cronos chain or the on-chain wallet lately, but they are working crazy hard on perpetual, so leverage trading. If you guys, I think somebody asked already about Fulcrum, somebody asked about Moonlander, all crazy. And the good thing is, guys, if you use the Crypto.com on-chain wallet, so that's the on-chain wallet, self-custodial, not controlled by Crypto.com, just by you yourself, so be very cautious. They are building a very competitive platform as well, thanks to also the sub-second upgrade, so it is crazy fast now. Finality within 0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds, guys. That's blinking time. So 0.5 seconds and below 1 cent. And now also the funding fees are going down. So they're building quite a crazy good platform to compete with also things like Hyperliquid, but also with RWA. And so RWA is real world assets. I'm talking about tokenized stocks. I'm talking about gold. I'm talking about anything tokenized. Anything tokenized is going to be available on the Cronos chain, and pretty early. But that's going to be the focus, according to the latest interview with Mirko, the lead of the Cronos chain team. And I think it can be very, very profitable, as you can see here with Hyperliquid. Other than perpetuals, guys, they don't really do much. The only thing that Hyperliquid does better than Cronos is that everything, I think about 90% of the revenues for these perpetuals, so any liquidations, any trading fees, funding fees, whatever, is being used to buy back the Hype token. So there we have an issue. There we have an issue. Crypto.com, I would say daddy. Crypto.com, yeah, I think we can say daddy. They're not really spending their dollars directly on buying crows. There's no direct buying back program. However, if you listen to the Cronos chain roadmap, burns are coming. Burns are still coming. So if anything is as effective as the Hyperliquid buyback program, well, there might be a great future ahead of ourselves. I mean, at least technically, like RWA is ready, and also technically the chain is ready. Let's see if we can actually get anything like this. Cardano, by the way, last thing. Now we go to the reserve because it's a big topic. And let's talk also about, yeah, so Peter's saying Hype is a new token for the cycle though, isn't it? So it will likely do well this bull cycle and then go nowhere next cycle. I agree 100% with that one, Pete. It's a lot of hype. As the token is named Hype, it's also a lot of hype. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it is this year's Uniswap. If you guys remember Uniswap, Uniswap was one of the first DEXs, so decentralized exchanges. Went to about $40 in 2021. A lot of hype there for the Uni token. But now it's basically gone. So to me, it kind of feels like the 2025 version of the Uni token. But let's see. In the end, Hype does nothing, well, too spectacular. It's just a perpetuals platform, mainly. But the buyback program is really strong. The Trump token, by the way, where's the Trump token? Official Trump token is almost out of the top 50 now. Anyways. Let's see. I think we were done talking about that one, yeah. Ooh, Godfather, 143k for Bitcoin. That will be the top in November. Ooh, 5 more months. 5 more months to gain $40,000 for Bitcoin. Not only 40, 33 only. Solid Snake, welcome. Peter's saying, seeing a descending channel on Bitcoin daily. And it might have a new breakout soon. Well, let's quickly check that, guys, because I think I tweeted about this as well. Let's quickly see if Mr. Pete is onto something. So we have Bitcoin here on the daily. Yeah, what you can see is kind of this here. So you have here this line. It is kind of descending. It's not kind of, it is descending. And we also have a bull flag pattern actually here. So you can see we have the pole here and we have 2 descending lines. Some maybe would like to use the wicks here. I don't like to use the wicks. I like to use the daily closes. Wicks are, in my opinion, a bit fidgy. But okay, this is basically all bull flag here. It was very close to a breakout. I think there was, yeah, we had a breakout here basically. But we went back down below. So far we're seeing some resistance at about 109. Even today, I think we tried to break above 109. So yeah, good times, I think, coming very soon. We might need one final retest here for 21 days. So the 21 days, the blue line here, the squiggly line. Maybe this will go up a bit more because, as you can see, we're now trading above the line. So this line will go up. I think we might have one more test here and then have the true breakout. We'll see though. I am back now, guys. No more holidays. Well, that's not exactly right. I do have one more holiday planned. But yeah, I will keep you guys up to date. So don't forget to strap in. Peter's, of course, saying he doesn't know anything about the top. Guys, no one can predict anything, right? The only one that has been right so far has been the 8-ball, because the 8-ball did predict it correctly that the rainbow chart was going to be incorrect. So the only one correct so far is our 8-ball. Bjorn is saying the problem will be the right timing. We most look at November, but what if pump will go until March, like what Chris said? That's right, Bjorn. That's right. So I think this cycle, everyone is saying that the 4-year cycles are dead. Last cycle was everyone was saying we have lengthening cycles. Basically, every cycle we have something. Some people saying that this cycle is different. This time is different. I don't think that this time is different at all. I don't really think that this time is different at all. Like maybe timing wise, I think Bjorn is right. Like you can see a prolonged Bitcoin season. That's a thing. That's definitely a thing. I can see this season already. However, if you take a look at like the Bitcoin schedule itself, I think we talked about this a bit earlier. So this was it's my prediction based on the previous cycles. We have an all-time high, we have a period of nothing, then we have a halving. Then we have a small period of nothing again, and then we have the start of the bull run, right? So there's the dotted green line, and then we have eventually an all-time high. So far, if you can take a look here, we have an halving, we have a period of nothing, we have an all-time high, period of nothing, then a halving. Then we do see Bitcoin here having a start, big start to a bull run at about the right time. You see it went up here. And then we have probably an all-time high here near the purple line. Purple line is not in November, it's here in September. So far, it is nothing out of the ordinary. The only thing out of the ordinary is not Bitcoin, it's altcoins. So I don't know. Maybe altcoins will do a crazy thing, like Bitcoin will top out in November and altcoins will top out in February. I don't know. It is possible that we see again something like with Bitcoin. So let me go to Bitcoin once more. Do you see how long this period was where we traded at an all-time high, basically? We traded near the all-time high for about 14 weeks. We do that again. Let's say we start here. We have 14 weeks. It might go all the way out to December. All the way out to December. But anything else, guys, so far it is clockwork. Bitcoin is like... No, I'm not going to compare it to a woman's cycle, but maybe it is like a woman's cycle, guys. It's if any woman out there, I don't know the woman ontology and entirely correct, or ontology, no, anatomy, I'm sorry, but it's mostly regular. It's mostly regular with some changes in between. Don't quote that, please. Hey, Crusty Apples, welcome. Let me quickly check what you're saying here. So Crusty Apples is saying Hyperliquid is built by ex-HTF engineers. Their protocol and platform is far better engineered than anything Cronos can aspire to have right now. Good chance that they are not fading into irrelevance. Have you checked Fulcrum and Moonlander, Mr. Crusty Apples? Like execution wise, there is not much different. There's also a publicly traded company building up a hype reserve already, with more considering it too. I haven't seen that news myself, press the apples, to be fair, but yeah. Okay, interesting. The thing is, though, you say here, and let's quickly read on here. The first hyperliquid airdrop literally changed lives for many people. The same thing was true for Uniswap, and that's exactly why my argument for Uniswap is, I think, even stronger than ever. Uni was changing lives. Uni was the DEX to be the one. It became more relevant. Anyways, doesn't matter though. I think what Krusty Apple is saying though is right. He does recommend farming the airdrop. Anything, guys. I like free money. So if there is this potential way to actually farm more tokens or get more airdrops, I mean, go ahead, guys. Go ahead, farm those airdrops and make yourself more financially independent, of course. Full Moon is coming this week. So we're talking about perpetual platforms. Full Moon is a token by Moonlander. Full Moon, FM. Any thoughts? So far, Moonlander hasn't had that much activity. It might change though with this airdrop. If you want to get into the Full Moon token, you need to have at least 15k worth of trading volume on the platform. 15k just to get eligible for the token purchase. So we might see some more activity on the platform, but the Full Moon token, like with the Hype token, is based really on how much use of the platform. The more use of the platform, the more fees are going into the FM token, and therefore the FM token becomes more interesting. But I don't know. So far, potentially it is most likely a Cronos Labs project. So maybe Crypto.com is pushing it. I don't know. Demo coin. I'm personally not starting to take any profits from CRO until the price reaches about 80 cents. And if you don't reach 80 cents this cycle, then I simply wait till the next cycle. I believe it will happen. I don't know. It's a personal take here, Demo. Why wouldn't you take any profit? And let's say it goes to 60 cents, right? I think it will go higher as well, right? But let's say it goes to 60 cents here. 60 cents does correspond, I think, to about this level here. If you see it is really dropping, like to about 40 cents, right? It's difficult to say, are you going to sell? But let's say it's March and it's at about 40 cents and it didn't really go to $1. There's quite a potential it drops down even more. So you might lose a lot of money in the process by not selling and like rebuying later. So of course there is a potential that it bounces up back again. But if you see Bitcoin tumbling, like in March after, you know, going to about 180 and it is below 150, for example, it might be wise to take a bit of profit. Like for example here, I think many people here can see that, yeah, there was a potential for a bounce here, but you know, the momentum was gone, so it started dropping. And of course, this was the FTX event. This was the FTX event here. Anyways, do with that information as you want. Of course, Demo, we have no financial advice here, just what I myself would do. Sky token, I don't know. I have not heard of it, guys. Yeah, so people's talking about a fake out. So Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin was, everyone was getting ready at this point. I saw Ethereum going crazy. Ethereum went to, I think, just the top really here of this chart. If you go to the daily, it's a bit more clear. But overall, let me show you the ETH chart, guys. This is really what's happening with basically all altcoins. Look how much has happened, or how little has happened with Ethereum so far. Ethereum had 3 weeks of momentum, and other than that, it's in this range. We're still in the same range of about that's about 2,500 and 2,600. So Let's see. Once we break out of this line, and I think it might be sooner rather than later, if you take a look at the daily chart. Daily chart, we're at a fake out here, but we're back again in the range, so maybe this is enough. Maybe this is enough to finally break through all resistance levels. Well, let's see. $3,000 will be the flip for Ethereum. I think $3,000 for Ethereum will also be the flip here for Bitcoin dominance to really go below the green line again. Well, let's see. Hey, Drain Gang, welcome. Got my average price down to 16 cents. It's still high, but a lot better than what it originally was. I've still been trying to buy the dips. There were plenty of dips. Welcome, Blake. Plenty of dips in here. Pressy Apples is saying the reissuing of 70 billion tokens further ruins the Cronos brand. Why would builders want to join, knowing that decisions about the chain will just be steamrolled? Good question. In the end, though, does it matter? Let's say we're gonna have this 70 billion going to be used to attract more builders. They care about money. They don't really care about the brand. It's all about, in the end, is the chain where I'm building on getting the right amount of people? Is the chain where I'm building on stable? Like, are there any tech outages? Is the tech being updated constantly? If that's the case, I think the tokenomics of that chain you're building on, the fundamentals where you are building your business on, that's okay. The same thing, right? If I know, let's go to Dubai. I don't know. Dubai is, I think, questionable regarding laws. It's very strict, for example, but the basic fundamentals for businesses are crazy in Dubai. 0% taxes, for example. So, brand, well, the Dubai brand regarding the country itself is, of course, getting better throughout the years. But it wasn't always the best, right? Dubai was this, I don't know, crazy desert country. But the more businesses that start funding or starting themselves within the Dubai region, the better the brand became. Eventually, I think Dubai right now is the place to go for any entrepreneur, even though I can't stand the heat myself. But you got to start somewhere. Guys. So I think it's still a decent place to start building. And I'm talking about the Cronos chain, not per se Dubai. Anyways. All is mathematics, and Cronos mathematically prepares a long short. A long short. I don't get it, LBB. I don't get it. Yeah, in the end, it's long or short, yeah. It's not really... I think next to mathematics, I think what we see here, right, the charts, it's basically data. It's historic data, what we have here. It's also a bit of momentum, like sentiment. It's all about sentiment in the end. And currently the sentiment is saying, well, Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin is king, so don't touch altcoins yet. I've bought 5 years Cronos. I have bought Cronos 5 years ago, and I'm really disappointed. I think many people feel that way, but it can only get better from this point onward, isn't it? No, but the thing is, right, at this point, I would say that, yeah, patience is key. Haven Pack, welcome. Whoa, he is saying, well, I think we might see the bull market extend into mid-2026. It's also indicative of change, followed by a shorter bear cycle with a much reduced percentage drawdown that will show the impact of ETFs. Let's see. I still believe we'll see at least a 60% drawdown in the end. So let's say we do see Bitcoin going to 180. Let's say Bitcoin goes up to 180 in let's say December for now. This, guys, is all just speculation here. Of course, no financial advice. But within the next few months, we see it go down to about 180. And then we go down about 60%. And that's still quite generous. Then we go to about 74k. 74k. Whoa, interesting. That's basically the low what we touched here. So that will be, I think, perfect. Up to 180, down to 74k again as a low this cycle. All just speculation here, guys. I didn't realize full moon was a new token. Yeah, it's a full moon token by Moonlander. Marlin, welcome. Peters is slowly scaling it out at about 50 cents. 10x is a 10x, dude. Crazy. I have so many questions about DeFi on Cronos. I don't know where my LP rewards are going because the card I might... Your LP rewards are going because the card I might have added on VVS, but single because coin is paying... Okay, Haven, I don't know what you're saying here. I don't know what you're saying. Typically, like, your LP reward is not being... how's it called? Automatically being added back into the pool. So you just have to accept it basically in VVS. Except if you use the new card feature. So if anyone wonders, you can now get the credit card or debit card, and auto top it up with your LP rewards. It's a new feature by VVS. I don't know exactly how it works. I haven't used it myself, but it's a new feature. You can check it out. Chris is saying, well, everyone is so worried about the reissuing of CRO. Anyone with a brain sees that Chris is doing long term. A $3 CRO is bare minimum. You can see the ones who should not be investing in crypto. It really shows. I think you're right, Chris. I do agree with you here because I do see the long term commitment really of Chris and also crypto.com and the Cronos chain. I mean, they've been here for 4 years, and I think, like, it's not the most successful chain, let's be honest there, but also not fading away. I've seen Barrack chain, I've seen even Abstract, a relatively new chain, is not getting a lot of momentum. Katana, a new chain by Polygon, not getting momentum. Like, Cronos is not doing all too bad. It's doing better than ADA. It's doing better than ADA, Cardano. So, I don't know, like, the mastermind and the master plan of Chris. I don't really mind the 70 billion unburn. I've been here already since 2019. So in my mind, there have always been 100 billion tokens of CRO. So yeah, for me, it's basically back to day one. I was fundamentally bullish back then. I'm still fundamentally bullish. So let's see. The only thing which I don't like is the communication. Communication was bad, but we have new leadership with Mirko. And communication is definitely improving. I do think we also need a better dev relation for Cronos. Crypto natives and potential builders spend a lot of time on X, and the narrative around Cronos on X is not really fantastic. No, I agree there, Chris the Apples. Like, what we have seen, if like crypto.com makes a post, or it's about CRO or anything like that, it's always so negative about, like, the CRO price, of course, or about 70 billion tokens. So what you mentioned earlier is definitely right there. It's definitely right. Like, anything, the sentiment on X has definitely hurt a lot. We have seen a bit more engagement, I would say, on the Cronos chain account. We got Emily Sit, business developer on X. She's doing quite okay, but I think Cronos could do better, like Solana or Litecoin. We take a look at Litecoin. Nobody is building on Litecoin. But the single fact that the Litecoin account is just so funny. It's so good, man. By the way, still people are building on Litecoin, but relatively speaking, it's a lot less than Solana, BNB, or Base. I would say take a look at Base, for example. Base is doing great. Litecoin is doing great, like account-wise. BNB, or well, BNB, I would say CZ, the CEO, former CEO of Binance and current lead of the Easy Lab, so the BNB chain. They're all doing way better, like communication-wise, and I think that's very important. But in the end, yeah, it's also about networking, and apparently, like the on-chain team has been networking like crazy. I think in France, for example, they're going to, I think London soon. Might be right there. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff happening, I think, behind closed doors more, but we need some more publicity as well from that side. Anyways, guys, it's 1 past 10. I wanna quickly finalize this stream by saying, yeah, taking a look here at the rainbow chart. The fact is that we're going to close the week below the rainbow chart for a third week in a row. For a third week in a row, we're closing down below the rainbow chart. If next week is Sunday, again, we are at the same situation. We have to redraw the line here. We have to redraw the rainbow chart, and it's going to be bearish. It's going to be bearish for the, well, the potential top. It might go down to as low as like 250 for the extreme, like the extreme bull case scenario here. So that's going to be interesting. Next week we'll check in on that one. Other than that, I would say Bitcoin is having some momentum here. So Bitcoin could be breaking out soon to a new all-time high. And Bitcoin dominance is knocking again on the door to break down as well. So many interesting things happening macro-wise also. S&P 500 all-time high. We got gold here. Gold trading at all-time highs again and again and again. So guys, things are happening now. Happening across the board. Oh, I'm not seeing the chat now. What happens here? Ah, there we go. Yeah. So anything right now is moving into the right direction. I would say that also the overall bills being signed with the Genius Act, for example, in the US, going into the right direction. The only problem is that we still have some fears regarding trade deficits and trade deals and whatever. The EU soon is going to have to get another trade deal because, yeah, it's going back to about 20% very soon for the EU regarding at least Trump. So things are happening, guys. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we have a new video live for you guys talking about Cronos 2.0. So check in, strap in, and of course, don't forget to hit that like button. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I will see you soon. And Thursday we have a new midweek update. So stay tuned, and talk to you later. Bye bye.